Live stream ini. Live stream. Itu dia.
Cultural richness kept maintained. Yogyakarta. Of Java. The cultural richness kept maintained. Yogyakarta. The soul of Java. The cultural richness kept maintained. Bearing unpretentious souls. Creating young intellectuals who are ready for the world. Here, born Muhammadiyah Association, a progressive Islamic organization, engages in various fields of life. One of them is education. By the idea of Professor Dr. Kahar Muzakir on the 1st of March 1981, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta presents to enrich young intellectuals' competence, actualizing Muslim scholars who are noble, competent, confident, able to develop science and technology, useful for the nation and world developments.
Accounting Department Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta is a leading accounting department in Indonesia. This department has got A accreditation since 2005, when only a few accounting departments can get this accreditation status. There are many achievements that students have received. Winner in a number of capital market competition, winner in scientific competition, and recently winner of National Enterprise Resource Planning 2018 competition. That 5 students of this department will represent Indonesia to compete in Singapore. Therefore, this department has produced competitive alumni that they can compete in job market while maintaining Islamic values. I believe by joining Accounting UMA, you have made a very good decision to be a successful person in this world and the hereafter, inshallah.
Accounting Department of Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta was established in 1992. Our mission is to produce Bachelor of Accounting who master in science and technology, have a good characters, integrity, and global insight. To support the graduate competence, we provide extra services such as training and certification, like Islamic banking training, taxation training, internal audit training, external audit training, and most management training. Meanwhile, we also provide certifications such as Enterprise Resource Planning from Monsoon SIM and Associate Certified Public Accountant from Indonesian Institute of Public Accountant. To face the business changes in the era of Industry 4.0, the curriculum of Accounting Department focuses on ability to utilize information technology and ability to take strategic decisions. We expect that Accounting Department can keep contribution in producing human resources who are excellent, Islamic, and have a global insight.
Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta has set up a new tagline of Young and Global. In order to speed up this mission, the Department of Accounting proposed to establish International Program of Accounting Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. This program is expected to be the driving force for continuous improvement in providing better services and facilities in education system at the Accounting Department. The increasing needs of graduates with good qualification and international recognition drive the Accounting Department to focus on developing main competencies of technology information, international financial reporting standards, public sector, and Islamic accounting. Under the professional management towards the world-class quality with a vision to become a global-oriented accounting department by focusing on strengthening faith and piety to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, mastering science and technology of accounting, and being the center of excellence which is beneficial for people. With the missions of being actively involved in the nation's development process, enlightenment of people through 3 pillars of higher education, and creating young, local, and global accountant. Since 2005, Accounting Department Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta has been accredited A. The establishment of academic atmosphere and the development of competitive character are improved continuously. As a result, the public trust to the Accounting Department is even higher, which could be seen from the large number of applicants. Learning in the Accounting Department of Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta is supported with good quality of supporting facilities, such as library, where students can access the relevant and appropriate references, such as e-journal and e-book. Administration room, where students get administrative services, and Wi-Fi area, laboratory for practicum, in Kiai Haji Ahmad Dahlan Mosque. Accounting departments also directly supervises Accounting Students Association, which can serve as a facility for students to develop soft skills in the fields of organization and self-development. Besides supported by qualified facilities, academic atmosphere is also established by the certified lecturers academically and practically, who are actively involved in academic and professional activities nationally or internationally, as an effort to renew the accounting science owed. The learning process also refers to the competency-based curriculum, referring to Indonesian National Qualification Framework through learning method approaches of centered learning, discussion, presentation, and problem solving. Accounting Department also tries to create prospective accountants who are professional, responsive, confident, creative, trusted, and innovative on each graduate student of Accounting Department of Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Various efforts carried out by Accounting Department, such as providing supporting facilities and establishing cooperation with domestic and foreign agencies, are parts of the process to create a conducive academic atmosphere and increase the achievement of academic community of Accounting Department of Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Being with realization that intelligence and people's well-being are the shared responsibilities. Thus, providing the best for the next generation is one responsibility that should be implemented to become excellent and Islamic in the world of accounting nationally and internationally. Accounting Department of Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, excellent and Islamic.
Thank you. Sudah mau mulai. Stop share. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. This is General Lecture. As our speaker, Associate Professor Amizawati Amir, a speaker today. If everyone ready to start, I will open the session. Before we start, I would like to remind you to open your camera and unmute your audio. Also, I would like to inform you that you should rename your name as your full name since it will be used in certificate. Mengingatkan kembali untuk para peserta untuk mengubah namanya menggunakan nama lengkap karena akan digunakan untuk pendataan sertifikat. The Honorable Dr. Harjati Widyastuti, SE, MSI. The Honorable Dr. Etik Krisnawati, SE, MSc. The Honorable Ms. Fitri Wahyuni, SE, MSc. The Honorable Dr. Diah Eka Ari Sekar Jatiningsih, SE, MSc. Aka, CA, QIA, as moderator today. The Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Amizawati Amir, as speaker today. And the Honorable, the participant who attend today's general lecture. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain amma ba'du. Praise your glorious presence of God Almighty who gave his guidance and light of our today all of us so that we can attend the general lecture event with the topic activity-based costing and activity-based management, an approach for enhancing competitiveness. A speaker today is Associate Prof. Dr. Amizawati Amir, organized by International Program of Accounting on this morning with healthy state. Blessing and greetings, let us always devote to our Lord, the Prophet Muhammad SAW, who had brought us from the time of Jahiliyah, leading into the era that is full of inayah. Let me introduce my name. My name is Mufida Tahara, the Master of Ceremony today. Here, I would like to show you about the agendas we have arranged today. The first agenda is opening. The next agenda is general lecture session. The next agenda is Q&A session. The next agenda is photo session. And the last agenda is closing. Let us start the first agenda, that is opening, by reciting Basmalah all together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The next agenda is general lecture session with the topic activity-based costing and activity-based management, an approach for enhancing competitiveness. This event will be guided by our moderator, Ms. Diah Eka Ari Sekarjatiningsih. She is a head of accounting department and expert in management accounting subject, as what we discussed today. For Ms. Diah Eka Ari Sekarjatiningsih, time is yours.
Alright, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All praises for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for all of His grace and guidance, and salawat and salam may always be delivered to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for our honorable speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Amizawati Muhammad Amir. Good morning, Bu Amizawati. Thank you very much for your time today with us. Okay, and also good morning for all of the participants in this general lecture session. Okay, and of course, also I would like to thank you for all of the committee from International Program in Accounting, for Ms. Fitri Wahyuni as the Secretary of the International Program, and also all of the committee member. All right, this morning, this is really a great opportunity for us. And we will hear the lecture from Ibu Amizawati. But before the lecture begins, I would like to read the curriculum vitae of Dr. Amizawati. So Ibu Amizawati is from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM. And she holds the academic qualification, a Doctor of Philosophy from Accounting in 2009 from International Islamic University, Malaysia. Master of Social Science in Accounting and Finance in 1994 from Birmingham University, UK, and the Bachelor of Science in Accounting in 1992 from Indiana University, Bloomington, USA. Okay, that's really wonderful. And the fields of specialization of Associate Professor Dr. Amizawati is in performance measurement system, management control system, strategic management accounting, and management accounting system. As for the research areas and topics from Dr. Amizawati, covering broad topics from digitalization in management control perspective, sustainability, cost management and control, and performance measurement system. And then if we take a look at the publication, okay. Oh, before the publication, it is stated here that Dr. Amizawati currently has some students, graduate students, right, under her supervision from PhD program, master program, and also from master that without a thesis program. All right, great. Right, and the achievement and awards has been so many, covering best paper Best Dissertation Award, and also some award that has been taken from many institutions. Okay. And about the publications, there are so many research articles that has been published in reputable journals. Okay, there are 40 publications and 4 book chapters. And of course, the topics has been broad, covering in the field of management accounting and also performance management and management control system. All right, this is really wonderful. So we have our expert speakers right now, and we will hear the lectures about activity-based costing and activity-based management, right, Dr. Amizawati? I believe that the students actually has been familiar with this topic, activity-based costing and activity-based management. But of course, we will hear what's new, what is the perspective then right now nowadays, right? Especially in enhancing the competitiveness of the organizations and for the management. All right. I think we should start directly our lecture. So for Dr. Amizawati, time is yours. And we have around 1 hour, Doctor, okay, for your presentation. And after that, we will have the question and answer session. All right, Doctor, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Dia, for a great introduction about me. Okay, so before I start my presentations, I really would like to thank for the International Accounting departments for inviting me to allow me to share some of my knowledge with the audience. Okay, allow me to share my screen.
All right.
Okay. Okay, can you see my slide? Can you see?
Yes, Doctor.
All right,
it's
okay.
been there. Okay.
All right, okay. So. So, okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Okay, so in this 1 hour time, I'll try to share a bit. Okay, so what is about the ABC, activity-based costing, and the activity-based management, okay, and how does it go about into these businesses, okay. So, before we start with the ABC or activity-based costing, okay, so let us look back. Okay, let us look back on the costing approach, right? The costing approach that we have discussed or we have learned when we start our costing classes. Okay, so basically, under the traditional, the traditional absorption approach, so we know that in terms of costing, right, there are 2 items, the direct cost and the indirect cost. So the direct cost items, there's no much issues on that, because the direct cost, often the simple formula is the direct material, direct labor, we can go on tracing. But issue comes when we look at how to deal with the indirect costs, the manufacturing overhead per se. So what being done are the traditional approaches is that we average the manufacturing overhead costs, right? We find an average and we allocate to the products. So it's simple, but because of it's simple, it has an effect of that. So the impact is an inaccuracy of the costing. And it's very crucial into these businesses. because the competitions is getting stringent. Okay, so to discuss on that, okay, let us use this example. I'm going to use to be based on this example for my illustration on the ABC and activity-based costing. Okay, so let's say we have a company and we are producing drone. So we have standard drone, we have deluxe drone, and the ultimate drone. In terms of volume, we could see that the standard drone have the highest volume, whereas the ultimate is the lowest volume. And there are a lot of informations with regards to the productions of this drone. Okay, so based on the traditional costing, we rather not to focus on a lot of informations, but we go on the direct material, direct labor, and when dealing with the manufacturing overhead, okay, so let's say that is given that for this company, our annual budgeted manufacturing overhead is 4,896,000 is given. Okay, and based on the traditional is that we try to find an average, and how to be the average to based on an absorption costing approach. Use product related information cost driver, or often referred under ABC is a unit level cost driver. Okay, so if we just look back at the red color, how we determine the predetermined overhead rate, there's a formula, we average, right? So that from the averaging, and where do we get the 2,400 direct labor is given here, because we base on the unit level and based on the cost related, production related cost driver. We know that for this whole year, the company is using 204,000 direct labors. And from there, we find the average and we allocate, and we allocate based on, we apply, and that is this is a term, we apply based on the rate, okay, $24. We multiply with the actual direct labor hours used by each product. Okay, so that's based on the traditional approach, right? So it's simple, find the average, and so, but the simple approach claimed to be it cause the high volume products, the high volume product tend to be over cost, right? And whereas the under volume product tend to be being subsidized by the high volume. So when there is inaccuracy in the product costing, eventually it leads to other strategic decisions. And that may have an impact on to be able to be more competitive, to be in the market. And recognizing these challenges, right? So the challenges is being recognized not recently, back 30 years ago. And as an alternative, an activity-based costing technique is being introduced. Okay, so it was introduced in early 1990s, all right? So how does the ABC come forward? Activity-based costing come forward, arguing that the concept of averaging and allocating would not allow firm businesses to be competitive. Okay, because we do not know what is happening in terms of indirect cost, how to go about, because it's being allocated using assumptions that stop businesses to find a way to solve. So with that, ABC come into the picture. Companies need to start with costing. Okay, in all businesses, in all settings, we need to know the costing first. Then only we can proceed with the managing. So same goes here. The activity-based costing was introduced. So the concept is that ABC, okay, bring forward the idea of no more allocations, no more simply allocating. We try to trace. Okay, tracing allows us to see and understand how the cost incurred. Right? So to move on that, okay, ABC concept put this argument. So because earlier, when we deal with the manufacturing overhead, the argument say that no, we cannot find the relationship. That's what stopped traditional costing. We cannot see the relationship. So because of that, we go on allocating. Okay, but ABC argue it differently. It says that things, costs happen in a business should not be without any purpose. So it says that, okay, why there's cost? Why company incurred cost? Because there are demands. So the company demands for activity to be served. Customer can be products. Customer can be business unit. Customer can be a customer, right? It can be a project. So the customer can cover a lot of definitions, but these are the demand. So the demand for to be served. So they demand for to be served, and because of that, that activities come in. They require foreign activities, and to have this activity, we need resources. We need people. We need machine. We need a lot of resources, and all these incurred costs. So based on this argument, right, because it starts and there's a path. Okay, using the same path. So ABC bring this argument. Why not use the same path? Now trace to the demand. If the cost can't be traced to the demand, so we need to investigate further. Okay, so that is the ABC concept, but that will be covered in the ABM later. But the assumption is that all start with demand, and then when we have a demand, so we can use the same path, but with a reversing arrow to charge it. Okay, so, and also to allow with the concept of tracing. Okay, so there are some modification, some changes, some change of the traditional concept to support the ABC. Okay, to support the ABC, there's some concept because they argue on the tracing. So if we go back on what being done under the traditional costing, it say that when do on the product costing, everything relate with the production and cost incurred in the factory area. There's direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead, okay? All costs inside the premise of the production should be charged to the products. Okay, but ABC sees differently because it's go on tracing. So under the ABC, the green color product costing, say that, yes, we agree, cost in the production in the manufacturing area should be product cost, but we have to go on the tracing manner. Direct material, direct labor, all direct expenses, we have no problem. We are looking on the indirect, the so-called indirect manufacturing costs. So under the ABC, it say that, yes, some indirect should be product costing, but not all. If we could not find a link to do the tracing, that cost should not be considered as product. Should now be considered as a period. And before this, cost that we incurred after the productions, right? After productions is considered as period cost under traditional approach. But ABC argue it differently because say that some product have value because of their after-sales services. And to provide these after-sales services is not free of charge, there's cost. And this cost should be part of the product costing. So that is somewhat different. Before this, no cost from the after-sales service should be part of the product costing. It's a period. But ABCC see that some products, right? So we could see that some premier products, they are being priced a bit higher because the buyer, okay, or the market segment demand service after sales. And that should be part in determining the pricing. How we determine the price, we need to know the costing. So that's one thing. The first thing that ABC argue and bring forward the idea of the importance of costs that incurred after the production. And second thing is that it's not simply averaging. When we're averaging, as what we showed you just now, we just get a rate and based on direct labor, so it's averaging. And then traditional, so we say that we go on departmental, still averaging. ABC look and understand the cost. They observe all costs for the activities and find the right cost driver for each cost pool. It should have a relationship. So, but the challenge is to have this, we might have a great number of cost pool. Okay, it might be hundreds, right? So that's the challenge of getting the price to get an accurate cost tracing. Okay, so go very briefly on the costing, how to go with the ABC, try to relate with the traditional approach. So now, first, like we need, instead of going on the department, now we try to understand the activity types. So we understand the activity types. So we trace resources used to provide these activities and try to find the right driver, cost driver. And from there, we're going to allocate or to trace to the products. Okay. Okay. So this is something that under the traditional, we tend to oversee. We assume that everything is based on direct labor hours, for example, just now. By ABC, because we are on activity-based costing, and we need to understand the activity. So before starting the calculations, the costing part, we need to understand the activities, how the activities behave. So there are unit level, batch level, product level, facility level. See, in the factory just now, we just put as manufacturing overhead. But here in the ABC, we need to categorize, understand, are they unit level, batch level, product sustaining, or facility level? Why? Why important? Because unit level means these activities is being done, okay, this type of one activity to one unit. One to one unit. Okay, let's say we are producing drone, the standard drone, and we are doing quality check for each and every unit of this 10,000. So quality check will be a unit level. Okay, let's say the quality check costs us $2. So each unit will get $2. That's unit level. But some do not go in that way. We go on a batch, meaning that we run one run productions and then we randomly check. So one run, so we one run in a one run. So one run maybe for the ultimate, for one run it consists of 500 units, one batch. But for an ultimate, we can have that because it's a premium one. You only have like 50. But for per batch of the production run, for batch of the checking, okay, computer checking, for example, for per batch is $200. So per batch, so every batch will get 200. But when we were assigned to the products, it based on number in a batch. So for the ultimate, it will only get 200 over 50. But for the standard, we get lesser because there's a lot more unit in a batch. So there are another type, product sustaining level. These costs are incurred for sustaining products, and we incur to improve the functions of each of our product lines. So for example, we incurred 10 million to enhance the features of our deluxe drone, just for the deluxe. So that cost incurred in the factory, manufacturing overhead before this. So, but it will be only being charged and being assigned to deluxe. So now we understand, we go on the tracing. Costs that being considered as facilities level is those costs that we cannot see the tracing. This is providing the area. For example, the rental of the factory premise, the cost of operating the cafeteria. So that's facility level. Okay, so once we understand the cost, now we go and, okay, so we have the cost, and now because we want to hold the constant of all costs in the factory, we started just now 4.89 million. So now we trace to each activity. Each activity become their own cost pool. So see the unit level, total update, everyone have their direct cost in providing the services. So the cost in this case, we put in the factory area, so we remain the cost same as what we started just now. Okay, and so we could see here machine level is a unit level, setup cost pool, batch level, right? And from there, we know that in this cost pool, in the unit level, for example, there are costs associating with providing the machinery, right? So how do we get that? These items, these resources, these are the resources that contribute to the 1.242 million. Okay, these are the resources. And we, instead of finding and averaging, we get a rate for using the machinery activities. And in this case, it is at unit level. So because of that, we go on the machine, because machine have to go on machine hours, cannot be on the direct, because of we have to find a correlation between the cost and the driver. Reason? Because ABC will proceed with the ABM. We need to manage, we need to control. So we have to make sure that the driver allow us to control, allow us to improve. So because this is unit level, so we trace with for each products, right? So we could see that this is the machine hours used for standard, deluxe, ultimate. So we just trace back. So we get the cost because this is unit level. And for other cost pool, activity cost pool, the activity pool. So for the setup, for example, setup is a batch level. So we go on the production run. So we trace on how many production run will required by each type of products. We trace and we charge the cost of using the activities to the specific products. Okay, so we trace the use of each activities to the products. Okay, so if we could see here, okay, this is total overhead. So we could see that standard total cost overhead is 207 per unit, right? Deluxe 246, ultimate 427. Okay, I go very quickly, but I believe that you may have the for your revision, you may get the PowerPoint, okay, information as copy for your reference. So from here we get the overhead cost, and from there comes, so we get the total cost. Now the direct material, direct labor remain the same, but what cost or what lead to a different costing is because of the ABC, the overhead component. Okay, the ABC overhead component. So how we get this? So it's being illustrated in the earlier slide. And from there, we get the cost is on the ABC. Right, so regardless whether the cost increase or cost decrease as compared to the traditional, ABC is more accurate. Right, so if we do some comparison, okay, so this is what we get. The red color is the costing per unit based on the ABC, right? Whereas this one is taken from the first slide based on the traditional approach. So we could see that for the standard, based on traditional is somewhat higher, 498, but ABC only 487. And if we go down the line, we move to the deluxe, right? The ultimate, deluxe. Okay, deluxe also is somewhat higher based on the traditional, and in the ultimate, the traditional costing, the cost information is lower than the ABC. So this is what we try to show, that the traditional often tend to overcost the high volume products. So see, the standard should be lesser cost, but traditional overcharge. Okay, why this happen? Okay, because it based on the unit level, based on direct labor. Ultimate, they consume a lot more resources, but it not be the productions related resources they're using. So in this case, all right, and so this is what we say that cross-subsidizing. Same amount of cost, 4.896 million allocate among the product, but what happened is that the ultimate is being subsidized by the high volume products. Impact when come to pricing. Okay, when come to pricing, let's say the company policy is 20% markup, and then we compete in the market. So this is market price. Okay, so we could see that market price, based on the market price for the standard, it's $585. Previously, under traditional, we are charging higher than the market. So in terms of competitiveness, we are not competitive because our competitors could charge lesser, 585, but we are behind them by $10. But if we look at the other end, the ultimate market price is 940, but the traditional is we are charging 902. So it seems that we are competitive, are selling a lot, but actually not. We do that because of the costing, the costing figure is being derived inaccurately. So obviously, if we could see that, we are spending $1,041.36 to produce each alternate. So because of the costing here is not being done in the right manners, it affects the competitiveness and eventually the profitability of the company. And that is why the ABC try to solve the issue of overcosting, undercosting, and cross-subsidizing. So from here, we could see that a summary of the ABC, we could see that not all costs are unit level cost items. Some are non-unit level. And these are not being observed under the traditional. But with the technology driven now, so there are greater portions of costs that fall into this type of category. So it's really, really important that company need to observe on that. Okay, because now the growing percentages of the so-called indirect costs. And again, when there are product diversity, we know that company now produce more than one. In fact, sometimes it go to hundreds or even thousands. The diversity is crucial, and we need to be able to find the right way, not simply averaging. And the most important thing that when we find the cost driver, it cannot be simply any averaging cost driver. It has to be some correlation. Why? Because we need to continuous improve. So in business, the word of Kaizen, continuous improvement, should be the working culture. And without the correlation, the Kaizen cannot be done. Okay, so that's basically the ABC. Okay, right. So, and how does this concept relate to the service? It can be applicable. And in fact, the ABC is more relevant to the service. Why? Because most of the cost in the service sectors is an indirect cost. And the information is important for pricing decisions. Okay. Given that I have about another 30 minutes, so I'm going to move to the second part of what an activity-based management. Okay. A company, right? A company that implement activity-based costing shouldn't stop at activity-based costing. Why? It's expensive. It's expensive to invest or to implement the system. You need to understand how the cost behave. That is a knowledge, right? A knowledge that you need to do some investment, resources. You have to build in the experts. And it should not stop there. It should not stop at the costing. It should continue for the benefit of the company, and to go on that, to try to, based on the information, we manage it. And there come the activity-based management. What is activity management? The objective, the ultimate reason for the activity-based management is to improve performance. Okay, to improve business performance. Okay, we know the costing, and from our process just now, we know what are the activities, how much it costs us, and then we also get an idea on what are the value added costs and non-value added, but on the surface, we don't go in depth, just for the purpose of doing the costing. Now, with the knowledge that we gain in doing the costing, we should now go on the ABM, activity-based management. Okay. Right. So this is a two-dimension ABC ABM. So it starts with the cost assignment view, resource, cost to cost object, and get the costing. This is what we discussed just now. We find a way and calculate the cost of providing. So this part is being discussed or being covered under the activity-based costing. Now, how to improve? Right? How to improve? This is the process view. Costing can be done in a year, but the improvement, it might take a longer period, but not too long, right? So if long, so we have to redo all the costing again. So within a reasonable time frame. So we try to understand what are the costs, okay? So from there, so when we do the costing, we're going to benchmark. We benchmark with the industry, with our competitors. We benchmark with the industry costing benchmark. From there, we know that, are we doing well? For example, just now, for the ultimate. So the market price is 900, but we are producing and cost us about, and if we are about higher than the market can absorb. So we need to do some improvement. So we need to find what caused the problem. Okay, look back at the activities. Okay, and then we do the calculation, get a new cost. Then we observe, we measure back. So are we now at par with the industrial benchmark? Are we still not that good? Are we doing very well once we have tried to improve the process? Okay, from there, the management, right? The management of the company has to work together, not only the accountants. When it comes to the process, it's not only the accountants. We have to work hand in hand with the technical people and also with our partners. Okay, who our partners? Our partners may be our supplier, right? So the logistic partners. So we have to work with our partners. So when it comes to the process, it's no longer an internally focused, but now we also have to find friends that can help us, to support us, to improve. Okay. So one of the key thing, all right, one of the key thing being emphasized, okay, the underlying principle under the ABM is the process value analysis. The concept is that if we go back to the costing just now on the tracing, the costing concept, that we say that everything cost start when there's demand. And when we want to charge, we charge back using the same path on a reverse arrow, right? The relationship path. So from there are times that there are activities, but we can't find the straight relationship to the product or to the customer or to the demands. So these are considered as a non-value added. Theoretically say, keep only the value added because that is the only cost that our customer willing to pay. Remove all non-value added because it does not create value. Okay, that is easy to say than done. Okay. Okay, these are the internal factors, right? The internal factors that consider as a non-value added activities. Storage, no need factory, right? No need factory. So because if we don't have factory, we don't store our raw material, right? So just in time, no need to move in, everything come into the production line. Okay, so we can reduce, we can eliminate all the non-value added activities. But then we have to look on whether does it fit with our company, right? So we know that for the management accounting practices, we have to look on the ability of ourselves, right? So now the value added, okay, doesn't matter. Now we are talking on the non-value added. So conceptually say that remove all the non-value added. Okay, rework. Yes, rework. Rework is cost, right? Rework is a cost. And for a customer, they don't want to pay for a cost on a rework. They want something perfect. And if that is adding cost, no, eliminate it. So then if is it unnecessary, reduce, eliminate. And how to go about that? Sometimes rework start when our supplier send a defect component to us or lower quality products. Or because we have to waiting times. They are delayed in sending their products or the components that cause us to stop productions. So in that case, eliminate or share with them. They also have to pay some of the costs, right? But there are also the necessary, especially the storage, right? So if we are saying that just in time, yes, just in time, good, but it's not that easy. Okay, in our business setting, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, for example, it's not possible to have just in time. We can minimize, but to a certain extent, company need to store the material because of the supplier maybe come from overseas suppliers. So we have to store, and it is necessary. So although storage is considered as non-value added, but it's necessary. And we try to manage that. Company need to think on how to manage on that. Because it's necessary. It cannot simply be eliminated. Okay. So coming back as what being mentioned just now, rework. Right? Rework, and we are working closely with our supplier. So ABC, ABM allow us to have a technique to do an analysis on our supplier profitability. Profitability index. Okay, so we do some measuring on them, we do some costing, and then from the data that we get, we can make some judgment. So traditionally, when we choose our supplier, it just based on purchase price. Who can offer, or which company can offer the lowest price? We go on that. Other things are not being observed, not being measured. And costs such as stop working because a delay in sending material, the holding cost, poor quality, delayed delivery failure, those type of costs was not being measured, was not being captured under the traditional costing. So it was not measured. What is in the invoice is just based on the purchase price. So lacking on this information, we neglect important information that is pertinent to ensure business competitiveness, right? So now, how does the ABC ABM may support, okay, our effort? Okay, for example, okay, using this as an example, we have two suppliers, we have two options. So one is from Fielding Electronics and another is Oreo Limited. Okay, these two companies, they are offering, we are buying two components, X1Z and Y2Z. And each company offer a different price. And if we could see that Fielding is offering a price lower than Oro. Fielding offer $10, Oro $12 per unit for X1Z. For Y2Z, Fielding offer 26, Oro slightly higher, 28. Okay, just based on that, obviously it shows that's why the company purchased more a component from Fieldings as compared to Oro. Right? So that shows. Okay, why not we look on other items too? Okay, if we look on other items too, so we could see that they are reworked. Oro demand less rework. Fielding, a lot of rework. Delay in delivery, Oro never happened. So because of delay, there's expediting, there's maybe a loss of waiting time. So happens only for Fielding. And if we calculate everything all costs related to the supplier, all activities related to the supplier, we could see now who cost us more. Oro, we paid $12. All other costs an additional of 20 cents. Same goes with for Y2Z, only an extra 20 cents. So from 12 become 12.20, 28.20. But for Fielding, offered $10 for X1Z, but turn up cost us $14.75. So same goes with the Y2Z. So this is how with the ABC and the ABM, we combine. Now it can guide, it can provide an assisting tool for businesses to choose the right partner. Okay. Similar techniques. Okay, I won't go this much because same can be done for the customer. Sometimes company, to be competitive, company have a different type of customer. They have different customers, and some there are different class of customer. And often the customer is being treated differently because of the volume of sales, right? The volume, the business deal with the customers. So then, same argument, cannot just rely on how much they pay to us because of sometimes they demand more. Not only the product that or the service that we provided, a lot more. A lot more. On all of these customer serving requests, we fulfill their request, everything costs to us. And from there, sometimes the revenue that we get, okay, minus all the cost that incurred, direct one, indirect one, it may end up to us just a small portions of profit. Okay, so also meaning that for businesses, these are important. Who are their customers? We need to know who are our customers, right? Okay, how? Because that basically what I'm being explaining is using the example of productions, a manufacturing setting. In a service, as we know that there's in the service represent a greater economic segment, right? In many nations. So same technique is applicable, right? And in fact, for the service, the use of ABC is more crucial because we can't see the tangible outcome of our products, right? But for the ABC and for the manufacturing, if they opt to use the ABC ABM, the traditional approach need to be there because for the purpose of inventory evaluations, this technique remain not acceptable for the reporting purposes. This is just for internal management decision making, right? So from what we gone through just now, right? As what we have gone through just now, we could see that from the ABC, so it provides a more accurate costing. It allows us to understand, okay, you allow us to understand about how cost incurs, why cost incurs, okay? So, and with that, okay, in this example, we deal with the pricing, and from pricing, then lead to other strategic decision, right? But in terms of control, the correlations between, for example, when we talk about the machinery cost and the machinery hours, the correlation there is important because of if we want to reduce the cost of machinery. So the direct factors that we have to control is in terms of the use of machine hours. So it's not just simply we use the driver just for purpose of averaging. Okay, so if the machine hours is a lot, then try to think of a better way to do the production with a lesser machine hours. Re-engineer a new production process. So from there, there's other strategic tools coming in. So we could see that how it highlight value added, non-value added, and it allows to understand ourselves better. Is it all non-value added? Is not can be eliminated? Okay, for us, yes, we read and based on theory, yeah, and then based on other people's practice, but does it fit? So we have to manage well. Okay, so from there also we could see that we can manage to eliminate value added. How? Now deal with partners. Sometimes we can't do it alone. Some we can eliminate by changing our own business process, but not all. Nowadays, business does not work alone. They work with partners. Okay, and so now it supports strategic action. Okay, when we support strategic actions, okay, there are things that I does not mention here. When it comes to the ABM, we do the ABC. We try to improve doing the ABM, activity-based management. How to do it? There comes a lot of techniques. So we are using Kaizen. We are using Six Sigma. So we are using digitizations technologies. So there are other strategic tools that we have to take in and to support the ABM and ABC. So ABM and ABC, it is as a framework, but other strategic tools have to come into the business process. Okay, so that's basically how the ABC and ABM helps company to improve their competitiveness. And now people are not talking about just competitiveness, but the sustainability. But to have it is not without challenge. First, it's expensive. It's expensive. Okay, you have to have a system. Time consuming. You have to have a system, you have to have a people. Okay, and it involves a lot of training. And it has to have a behavioral factors. We as accountants, we could see, it's important, yeah, we could see the benefit, but how to sell to the others organizational members, the engineers, the management people, how to sell it that this is expensive, but it's worth to invest. Okay. And in terms of the information, one of the problem is that not all information is available. Let's say we're talking about rework. In the system, we never measure rework because like the system, the traditional system measured how much we pay, how much rework being done, and who caused it. That type of information is now remain lacking. So company need to see way forward, and now they need to have this information in order to allow them to do the supplier profitability analysis. Okay, and some of it say that conflict with the traditional. So that's why to have this system, it has to be a well-established financially and also in terms of the resource, okay, the human capital resource, because of the ABC remain there. Sorry, the traditional remain there. The ABC is an additional to the traditional informations. So, right, because of the challenge, okay, though that we could see all the benefit, but it's remain less popular because after being introduced 30 years, some companies still opt to have only the traditional system. Reason because some of the information are lacking, okay, and then it's time consuming. So now ABC also have evolved. Okay. Now that ABC, that what being discussed just now, is now being referred as the conventional ABC. Okay, ABC have moved forward. Okay, instead of finding all cost driver and now all cost pool with a cost driver that match, that correlates. So as an alternative, time-driven activity-based costing is being introduced and is being practiced, especially in the health sectors, whereby instead of finding like for the machine hours, instead of finding how many machine hours, they estimate, okay, in terms of practice, machine hours, how many percent of time for ultimate, how many percent of time for deluxe and standard, because it's easy to for the technical people to give an estimation of, oh, we spend 50% for standard, 30% for deluxe, 20% for ultimate. Okay, so that is where the ABC is moving today. Okay, think that's all from me on the topic of ABC and ABM. Okay, I'll pass back to Ms. Daya.
All right, what a fruitful lecture, wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Amizawati. Okay, we have already concern, right? Okay, with some issues that has been delivered by Dr. Amizawati, right? That okay. There's a kind of distortion, right? Information about inaccuracy of information, of cost, and that it may have caused misleading information, and of course misleading decision by management of an organization. So that's why then ABC takes place, right? Okay, and we should concern then that not all of the cost will be in the form of a unit level, and especially nowadays, right? The relevance of the current situation that so many organizations now is technology driven. So it means that there will be a lot of indirect cost. That will be the issue, and the ABC then will be relevant in that case. And for the ABM, then we should of course concern with how to manage activities, right? Because then to reduce the cost, we have to go to what cause exactly, then that's the activity, and customer won't be willing to pay the non-value added activity. Is just like a rework, just like the product that is not in the specification, right? Okay, thank you, Dr. Amizawati. So right now we have the opportunity to ask the questions, right? Okay, students, this is the time for you. So if you have the questions, you may proceed it directly right now. Okay, for the first time, I will give for the 3 students, okay, to ask the questions. Is there any of you that has the question concerning activity-based costing and activity-based management? You may also ask in bahasa if you like. It is okay to ask in bahasa Indonesia. Okay?
Yeah, and I try to answer in bahasa Malaysia.
All right, that's great.
Right, so it doesn't matter. In bahasa Indonesia is also possible. Yeah. As long as we can do.
Come on, students, this is your opportunity. Yeah, to ask the question. Bahasa Indonesia juga boleh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any? Not yet. Okay, perhaps if you have the question, you may also write it down in the chat room. Okay, it is okay also. So meanwhile, maybe I would like to ask you, Amizawati, right? Okay, so we have already learned a lot from you. And how about for the current situation, Doctor? Current situation that right now we are in the digitalization world, and the way the business perform right now is very different, right? Sometimes that we do the business without seeing the real picture of the organization. We cannot see directly the building, the real what is that? Real materials of the process, right? How about that thing? Then how then ABC will take place in that situation? Maybe you have your insight.
Right. So yes, given the change of the business pattern, right? Given the change of the business pattern, like especially during the pandemic, and also with the technology development, because like before this, everything like when it comes to the business, everything is that we work from a premise, we rent a premise, right? Everything is there. We could see the labor, direct labor, everything. Okay. So nowadays, people are working online. Things can be seen, intangible, right? And on top of that, there are arising business type, right? Especially in the service that we could not see or apply the costing as the traditional way has been done, right? So For example, with the service provider of the cloud servicing, right? There's the digital, and now there are business like cloud servicing. Okay, so if we've learned in our undergraduate time, the straightforward, but when we go outside there, things are totally different, right? So that is a challenge. That one thing is that before we can do the costing, we need to know the process. So, and to do on that, it can't be the accountants or from the accounting background per se. It has to be a joint effort. Okay, we know that these are the area of the technical people. Okay, so we need to learn, we need to understand their jargon, okay, for us to work together. And they also have to buy in the importance of ABC. Okay, so from there, we need to sit and to understand the process. Because now, if we talk about cloud, okay, we're going to outsource, we are a cloud provider, we want to charge price. Okay, do we know our cost? So we know that there's tendency in the pricing, in the service sectors, people tend to go on the market price. As the example just now given, we go on the market price. So, but how? Yes, we can start with the market price, but how can we improve? So we need to know the costing. We need to know costing. So from there, we know how much is our profit margin. And we're going to improve our profit margin. And so for that, we need to do the costing. And first thing is that, say, work together, have the drawing board, try to understand the cost. What are the costs? What are the resources? What are the resources? Because this is unique. New things, right? Resources is not like what we know, people. It can be something else. So, and it's costly. These are costly. That's why it's very important to know the process, to trace what are the costs, okay? And from there, we get to know how much the cost, okay? And that is a new, there's a new world. There's a new challenge for the costing, and it going to change. Then indirectly, ABM, ABC play a role there.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for your explanation, Doctor. Okay, so yeah, maybe then it will lead us to the importance of a business process, right? We have to what is that? Master it, right? What is then the business process of an organization? That's first, and the important thing also about the integrated view, about the collaboration, right, with the other parties inside the organization, not only inside organization, but also for the partners, right, suppliers, maybe customers, right, and other partners that organizations have. Okay, yeah, all right then. How about that, students? Still no questions from you? Yeah, okay. How about Mas Java? Mas Java, do you have any question? Ada pertanyaan? No? Okay, Mbak.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, ya. Siapa? Sebutkan namanya. Silakan.
Jao.
Mas?
Jao.
Oh,
Jiao.
Joe. All right, Joe.
Right.
Okay, Joe is our international students.
All right. Okay. Yes, Jiao.
So go ahead. Mhm.
Okay. I would like to thank Miss for the lecture.
Mhm.
And my question is, like, from her explanation, I understand that she said activity-based costing is very costly and time-consuming. So as a result, like, my question is, like, how do sitting like small firms, like small business, can adapt to activity-based costing, because it is costly and time-consuming, and like many small firms are not into activity-based costing because of, it is costly and time-consuming. So how do small firms can adapt to activity-based costing?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jiao. Okay, I'll try to answer your questions. Okay. Yes. As what you mentioned just now, it's costly, and then you must have someone graduated with an accounting degree, right? Okay, like yourself. Okay, so that's costly. So that's why, as what I mentioned earlier, that to have the system to implement ABC, the company should be financially stable. So meaning that it is established, well established, a big size company, to make it simple, right? Because why? Because for small size firm, okay, for small size firm, their concern is not, their concern is more on to be in the market, right? Small size firm like SMEs. So in the first 3 years, 5 years, is to maintain in the market. So during that time, they try the traditional way is sufficient enough, right? Traditional way, meaning they must do some calculations, but traditional way is acceptable because they want to ensure their present. They want to be in the market. They want to ensure their present. Okay, they are present stable in the market. They are not trying to explore new things, right? Not to go to explore new things. So for small size company, their objective more of being to be sustainable, to be in the market. So because of their focus is different, so ABC might not be their main concern. Okay, but as you grow bigger, right? As we grow bigger, we want to compete with bigger size of competitors. Now we are competing with giant. So now, because we also somewhat giant, so we want to compete with a giant, so we have to use all the sophisticated tools. And we are able to have it. So then only ABC comes in. Okay, so does it explain, Joe?
Yes, it explains. But do you feel like it will not be too late? Like you wait until your firm is too big and you want to adapt? Why not, like, if you start adapting activity-based costing when your farm is like small and then it start growing, so that like when the farm become big, like the farm will be like already used to the system and it will be more easier to
Yes.
adapt better.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. So that's why it is applicable, right? Given that, okay, when you start, so the owner, right? The owner is knowledgeable. The business owner is knowledgeable. Instead of having to invest on people, invest on the system, because you are small, you can do it manually to a certain extent because your business process is not that complex. Okay, you start, okay, and you start and then you do it manually using Excel, right? Excel is applicable. You custom make your software for your needs. Then eventually when you progress, yes, it can be done, But the factors, okay, the contributing factors is that the owner must be knowledgeable. So in that case, he did not have to invest on people. He did not have to invest on the expensive software. You start slowly. So it's possible with that situation, as what being stated by you just now, Joe, is that you have knowledge, you start small, even that is better because it's not to change, because it is not easy to change. You already have the traditional one and simply want to go have to the advanced one. So it's not easy to change. Change is not easy to be taken place. So your idea is good, but the most important that we have to have people the ability to start with.
Okay.
Okay, Joe?
Okay, thank you, Miss.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Amizawati, and thank you, Joe, for your critical questions. Yeah, this morning. All right. Okay. How about the others? Anyone that still have any questions? No. Okay, then if not, I believe that actually there are so many things to consider, right, about these topics, Doctor, right, ABC and ABM, and how then it will support, it will assist management of the organization to be competitive and sustainable in nowadays situation, right? Okay, so well, since that also the time is running. And right now, I guess that time is up for us to have this session. Okay, thank you very much again for Dr. Amizawati, Muhammad Amir, for your wonderful lecture this morning. Yeah, I expect that it is not only this time, yeah, perhaps that we will have another opportunities to meet, right, Doctor? Okay, yeah, inshallah. Okay, then, thank you very much for all of the participants. And I also would like to express my apology if there's many things from me as the moderator that is not suitable, or when I don't give the delivery of this session as your expectation. Okay, then. Akhirul kalam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. And I will give the time back to the master of ceremony of this session. Okay.
Okay, thanks to Miss Amizawati Muhammad for the attractive material. Hopefully, it can help the audience to have a better understanding on topic activity-based costing and activity-based management and for enhancing competitiveness. And thanks to Miss Dia Eka Ari Sekarjatingsi as a moderator who guide discussion today more clearly. Now, it is turning to the last agenda, which is closing. As a master of ceremony, I do apologize for any mistake during this event. Finally, I say thank you. And before leaving this event, kindly please everyone turning on your camera because we want to take a picture. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Okay, we close this event by reciting Hamdalah all together.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Thank you for joining this event and see you on the next event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Doctor.
right.
Okay, really nice to meet you.
All right. So hopefully we can meet face to face one day.
Okay, amin, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right, Doctor.
Bye, everyone.
All right, goodbye. Thank you. Terima kasih, saya Livia.